One of the hottest topics here at CPAC is the border and how we need to close the border, how we need to fix our immigration. My next guest knows all how to do that, served under the Trump administration. Chad Wolf, America First Policy Institute, you are the expert on the border, and just before you came on, that is the crisis. That is what everyone is talking about right now.
Yeah, obviously we're now into our fourth year of this crisis, if you can imagine. And it's only getting worse, it's not getting better. And it's because of deliberate decisions that this administration has taken. They have a lot of authority they could be using today to close this crisis, to close the border, to get this under control. They simply won't do it. And I think that's the most frustrating thing. I think Americans are looking at this saying, why is this occurring? Who's held accountable? And when is it going to change? And
you know, I've often said, you know, how many times do they have to see the drone videos and the infrared videos at night of people coming in across the border from them to understand it's a problem? How many times do they have to see people living on the streets in New York and Chicago before they realize it's a border? What could Joe Biden do right now to at least help the crisis at the border?
Yeah, there's a number of things that he has the authority to do, right? He could restart border wall construction in priority locations. That frees up agents to go elsewhere, right? He could restart the Remain in Mexico program. He could use what we call 212F authority, which allows you to shut down the border and to remove individuals in a pretty quick fashion. Think of it almost like Title 42-like authority. You could actually declare a fentanyl crisis and start removing people. You can do a variety of different things. They've got to be innovative. They got to think about their authorities. And you've got to be willing to make some hard decisions for the betterment of the American people. They're not doing that. Instead, it's just the status quo remains. The loopholes are being exploited and catch and release is in full effect.
So when the Trump administration and the Trump policies come back into place, would that almost overnight change the flow of this problem?
Yeah, I think if you have some America First policies back in place, when we talk about border security and immigration, the numbers aren't going to change overnight. It is going to take some time, but there's a number of things that you could probably do on day one that would send a signal, not only to your workforce that there's a different mentality, but it also sends a signal to the cartels, the smugglers, the traffickers, and others that there's a new sheriff in town, and it's not going to be business as usual, and we're going to bring some deterrence back to the system.
Chad Wolf joining us here at the booth at CPAC. Let's talk about these drug cartels. They've made billions. Have they made billions? Is that overestimate?
No, that's accurate.
Wow. On not only trafficking people, but trafficking the drugs in our country.
The illegal narcotics, absolutely.
Wow. And obviously, when people say there has always been that always happened under any administration, and that is in fairness, there was always drug trafficking
100%.
going on. So we can't. But it just got extremely worse under the Biden administration.
I think that's right, because what this administration has done with their policies is that they've emboldened the cartels, right? All of these individuals, millions of individuals coming across that border, they're all paying the cartels to traffic them across the border. It's almost like a toll that you have to pay. Well, you're lining the pockets of the cartels so they have more power, more weapons, more territory, more money than they've ever had before. And of course, that goes back into the illegal narcotics trade that they do and other illegal activities. And so that is concerning, and that's why you see them so powerful today. And that's why you see the amount of fentanyl and the other trafficking that we see.
Just recently, about 2 weeks ago, we did impeach Alejandro Mayorkas on the border for a couple reasons. Where do you see that going? I know we talked to Senator Tuberville earlier, and he's going to pressure McConnell to put that to the floor for a vote. But how does it stand with you right now with that?
Well, obviously it goes over to the Senate. Now the Senate has to make a decision on whether they're actually going to have a trial or they're going to try to dismiss it. We'll see what happens. Obviously the Democrats are in control of the Senate. Look, I think this was about accountability more than anything else. Back to my comment earlier, the American people want to know when is it going to stop and who's accountable for this. And I think that's what House Republicans did. And they had a variety of different measures, from not enforcing the law to abusing the law, and then lying to Congress and the American people about it, right? They spent 3 years saying there's no crisis, we have operational control and the border's secure. All of those are not accurate statements, and someone needs to be held accountable for that.
For people to keep up with you, not only on social media, but obviously with the company America First Policy Institute, where do you need to go?
AmericaFirstPolicy.com. You can find me there. I wish I knew my Twitter handle. I don't.
Maybe it's a good thing you don't know it.
But you can find us all there. It'd be great.
All right, Chad Wolf joining us here outside the conference. We'll got plenty more CPAC coming up. Don't go around.